CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeremy Thompson.
We do not want this lingering around for 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years, creating that level of uncertainty.
Tonight on CTV News, the campaign begins. The Premier defends her decision to put Alberta separation on the ballot in this fall's referendum. Good evening. Albertans will vote this fall on whether they want to stay in Canada or start the process of separating. Today, Premier Danielle Smith defended her decision to add that question to the already planned October referendum. As CTV's Connor Hogg reports, the separation question will be multiple choice.
I would say this is the ultimate policy debate, and that's what we're putting it forward as, is a policy question.
On October 19th, Albertans will be able to select option A, should Alberta remain a province of Canada, or option B, should the government of Alberta commence the legal process required under the Canadian Constitution to hold a binding provincial referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada.
So we need to get the answer to this now, because we do not want this lingering around for 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 years, creating that level of uncertainty. People know on October 19th there's a choice to be made.
Smith says she wants Alberta to stay in Canada and will campaign for it. But law professor Gerard Kennedy says if Albertans end up going against her, the resulting process will be complicated. The province would have to create a second, clear, and legally binding referendum question and make sure proper consultations with First Nations take place. It would also have to pass the federal government's scrutiny.
The more negotiations that can take place with the federal government in advance to make it clear, the likelier it is to pass muster.
With 10 questions now on the ballot, Elections Alberta says voters can weigh in on as many or as few questions as they want. It plans to hire between 60,000 to 90,000 election officers to administer and count the upwards of 38 million ballots. Each of the 10 questions will have a separate ballot, and all of them need to be counted by hand within 48 hours. As for the threshold of voter turnout she's looking for, the Premier says she'll accept a majority.
Most votes aren't decided that way, 50% plus 1. That's what a majority looks like, yes.
Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Reaction to the Premier's new referendum question is pouring in. From the Alberta NDP to the pro-separation groups, no one seems to be happy with the government's move.
I think that the UCP don't understand how much support they lost last night, but they will.
After months of convincing Albertans in the cold to sign their separation petition, organizers like Mitch Sylvester feel betrayed by the Premier's non-binding referendum question.
I thought that we had 301,000 Albertans sign a petition for a right to vote on Alberta independence. And now she's ignoring that.
Sylvester says Albertans should expect to see his team of volunteers all over the province this summer. Thomas Lukasik with the Forever Canadian group is also gearing up for a campaign to convince Albertans to vote in the fall referendum.
We will be asking all Albertans to minimize the pain and to vote not to have another referendum and focus on building this province, building pipelines, hospitals, schools.
With glowing hearts we see thee rise.
The opposition NDP held a press conference in Calgary's Confederation Park to show support for Alberta's place in Canada. Leader Naheed Nenshi says Premier Smith has done everything she can to appease the separatists.
Let's be clear. She will not lift one finger to help the Remain side in this ridiculous referendum.
Mayor Andrew Knack calls the fall referendum catastrophic for Edmontonians and Alberta's economy.
Along with working on the real issues that Edmontonians care about, I also now have to spend time working to engage Edmontonians to make sure they're active in this very real issue that exists, that didn't need to exist.
Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre says he'll push for Alberta to stay in Canada.
It's the job of the Prime Minister to unite the country, and that if the country's not united, that too is the responsibility of the Prime Minister.
Meanwhile, the PM says recent announcements with Premier Smith demonstrate he is committed to addressing Alberta's concerns.
We're working with Alberta on making it better. Just a week ago, I was in Calgary with Premier Smith.
And chiefs of Treaty 6 and 8 First Nations are condemning the Alberta government for what they say is advancing separation attempts. They say the province is required to have meaningful consultation with Treaty First Nations and plan to fight back. Well, a woman who owned 2 dogs that killed an 11-year-old boy in South Edmonton has been found guilty of criminal negligence causing death. The trial for 46-year-old Crystal McDonald wrapped up today. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has details and reaction.
I really appreciated that the people who were the victims of the prior attacks came to court and testified and shared their stories.
Stories that played a significant factor in the judge's decision. Dog owner Crystal McDonald should be held responsible for the death of 11-year-old Cash Grist. Cash was killed during a visit to his father's home in 2024. His dad was in the garage working on the accused's truck at the time and came in to a bloody scene. The judge called Wesley Grist a very credible and forthright witness and said he believed Grist when he said McDonald didn't put the two dogs in their kennels when she left for work that day. The court heard from several people terrorized by the dogs prior to the attack on Cash. The two cane corsos killed 2 pets, a cat and a dog, and bit 3 people, including McDonald. One of those attacks was caught on a neighbor's backyard camera. The seriously injured woman messaged McDonald afterwards saying she was convinced the dogs were going to kill someone. The judge said after that, there was a heightened duty for her to take steps to protect her roommate's son, Cash. And she didn't.
Her rule was that Cash couldn't be alone with the dogs, but it was clear that even one person being present with a potential victim was not enough. There had always been other people present during all of the attacks.
The judge said he generally found the accused to be evasive and defensive during her testimony. He said she knew the risks and called her response to the prior incidents wholly insufficient and inadequate.
Our position, of course, is, Miss McDonald, who loved that boy like a nephew, was put in a very difficult position when his father showed up with him and took steps that, to her, she reasonably believed would protect the child.
McDonald is scheduled to be sentenced in September. Her lawyer says they will likely appeal the decision. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
A man is dead after he was hit by a vehicle while standing outside his truck that was pulled over on the side of Wayne Gretzky Drive. It happened just before noon yesterday. Police say the 41-year-old driver pulled over on the 106th Ave off-ramp. As he was walking to the back of his vehicle, he was hit by a truck and died. Police say they do not believe speed or alcohol were involved. Investigators are asking anyone with dashcam footage to call police. Well, it was a chaotic night in an East Edmonton neighborhood. 2 crashes happened just blocks apart. One of them ended in a police standoff that lasted several hours. CTV's Amanda Anderson spoke to a man who watched it all unfold.
The ground shook, and the neighbors here watching TV felt their house shake. They felt like a boom.
That boom was the impact of a truck slamming into a brick wall near Carlos Robles' home Thursday night.
What the?
Robles saw it happen. He says he saw the truck racing down 66th Street, hit a curb, then slam into the wall, sending one of the dumpsters flying several feet.
I've been lucky too, because if this wasn't here, that truck would have went right into the guy's house.
He began recording video as he went to see if anyone was hurt.
But then the police cruiser showed up, and that's kind of where I didn't want to move, because hey, something's probably going on here, right?
Over your head! Get back now!
Robles says that's when things got hectic. The area was surrounded by police moments later.
The police, drones, helicopter, and then canines as well. So then eventually they told everybody to leave the area because we don't know what was going to go down, right?
Yeah, he's still in the truck. Let him move around there.
Robles says the man was in the truck surrounded by police until at least 2:30 this morning.
They were bickering, going back and forth, negotiating a trade-off between, I think it was a knife over cigarettes, right, to get him out of the truck.
It wasn't the only incident in his neighborhood last night. Just a few blocks away, the aftermath of another crash at a bus shelter. Robles says he saw the EPS Major Collision Investigation section on scene.
And they've blocked that whole area completely as well. And, to think about how that occurred and this occurred kind of almost at the same time, minutes apart, it's kind of crazy.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
And police now tell CTV that bus shelter was damaged when a police cruiser responding to the dangerous driving incident collided with another vehicle. The driver was taken to hospital while the officer was treated for minor injuries. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team is now investigating. Well, police closed a section of 50th Street during rush hour this evening because of a serious crash. Northbound lanes between 72nd Ave and 76th Ave, just south of the Sherwood Park Freeway, were closed. An officer was inspecting a motorcycle wedged under the front of an SUV when CTV arrived around 6 o'clock. We are expecting an update from police on any injuries from the crash. The road has since reopened. A local organization that helps veterans and first responders receiving medical treatment got a big donation today. Wheaton Honda donated this van to Valor Place. The organization provides accommodations for out-of-town veterans, first responders, and their families who are in Edmonton for medical care. The van will be used to drive them to and from appointments.
A lot of the times our families, when they come to us, they don't necessarily have time to pack up and bring their vehicle, or they're being flown in from elsewhere, that kind of thing. And it allows us to be able to get them the support they need in order to get to their appointments and take care of them like a family would.
Valor Place is free for anyone staying there. Well, some people living in southwest Edmonton say a new construction project has more than quadrupled their drive time. They also say they received no advance warning about the 170th Street project. The area's councillor says neither did he. CTV's Curtis Goodrum has more.
Many southwest commuters are feeling the effects of construction season in Edmonton. 170th Street, south of the Henday, is being torn up. So too is driver patience with lengthy delays.
It's horrendous. So what should be a 15-minute ride is taking way over an hour. It's impassable.
And we're just going to have to put up with it. At least they've started construction.
The construction behind me caught many area residents off guard, including area councillor Mike Elliott.
It is a cluster in many ways, shape or form.
Elliott says he was not given any information ahead of the project by city staff, leaving him without the tools to answer angry constituents.
The communication was lacking significantly on this, and there's nothing worse than your own councillor can't even provide a response back to a citizen.
He's since released a message with construction timelines. He hopes for better communication in the future.
Now I'm going, no, we will meet monthly because I want to get this information firsthand.
The construction is also frustrating some businesses.
Our reservation starts at 5 o'clock because they're stuck in the traffic, and it doesn't seem like it's improving. I'm sorry, but it's going worse day by day.
People who are coming here from the Henday, who live in a nearby area, they're probably not going to be coming to us. They're probably going to go to another location.
The city says they're working on trying to open up the area to allow for more traffic.
This amount of closures, the turning lanes, the passing lanes, it's just ridiculous.
Get this project done, we do have to include traffic impacts as part of that work.
The city says what they're doing is needed, and traffic impacts throughout the summer are an effect of population growth. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
A Lego convention based in Edmonton is growing and moving to a larger venue. Northern Bricks is organized by the Northern Alberta Lego Users Group. This is its third year, the first time in the Alberta Aviation Museum. It was previously held in a community hall in the Glengarry neighborhood. Builders and the artists from across the country are showing off their creations. You can also buy new and used sets or take part in some Lego-themed competitions. The organizer says Lego is more than a toy. It's becoming an art form.
You see that with certified professionals like Nathan Sawaya and all these larger Brickman exhibits that was just here at the Telus World of Science a couple of months ago. It's its own medium. Lego has grown with the adult community and has grown with many individuals over the course of their lives. You're talking about a toy brand that has been around for over 90 years now.
You can check out Northern Bricks at the Alberta Aviation Museum tomorrow and Sunday. Tickets are available at the door. Well, keep an ear out for a special aircraft over our city tomorrow afternoon. The Royal Canadian Air Force is conducting a fly past at 1 o'clock. A CH-146 Griffin helicopter like this one will take a low flight over Edmonton. The mission is meant to honor the Alberta Fallen Paramedic Memorial. And coming up next, the end of an era. A slew of celebrity guests helped Stephen Colbert shut down The Late Show after more than 30 years. And also just ahead, Consumer Reports investigates a slew of shattered oven glass incidents.
Some were asleep in bed. They went downstairs, they touched the oven. It was cold to the touch, but there was glass all over the floor.
Always looking forward to the weekend, and for good reason. The weather is looking quite nice. Nice mix of sun and cloud as we go throughout Saturday. Temperatures warm, a little bit cooler for Sunday, but still above average seasonal high and in the 20s. I'll have details on your forecast coming up.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
More Tim Hortons locations are coming to Canada. The coffee chain is opening 80 new restaurants and renovating 400. It follows the decision by American coffee giant Dunkin' Donuts to re-enter the Canadian market. Tim Hortons says 280 restaurant owners are spending $270 million on the revamp. The corporation is pitching in $130 million. Alberta will get 17 new Tim Hortons. And 7-Eleven expects to close hundreds of its locations this year. The chain's North American operator plans to close more than 600 stores, 3 times as many as first thought. Its Japan-based parent company says the closures include converting some locations to wholesale fuel stores. Many modern stoves include an oven with a glass door. While it's a popular aesthetic, there are increasing concerns after hundreds of them have shattered for no apparent reason. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Imagine being at home when you hear the sound of something shattering in the kitchen. Many consumers say when their oven's glass doors exploded, it sounded like a bomb went off.
No one thinks that they're going to have a ticking time bomb in their kitchen in which glass will fly all over the place.
Consumer Reports investigation focused on complaints filed with the Consumer Product Safety Commission over a 15-month period. There were 386 incidents and more than 40 injuries. In many cases, the oven wasn't even on.
Some were asleep in bed. They went downstairs. They touched the oven. It was cold to the touch, but there was glass all over the floor.
There have been similar complaints dating back more than a decade, and they're not limited to a single manufacturer.
Although Frigidaire is cited more than any other company, we're seeing this issue across brands.
Consumer Reports contacted the 5 manufacturers with the most complaints. LG said it's aware of the problem, but has not identified a basis at this time for additional action. The other 4 companies said their products meet third-party safety standards. Samsung is the only company to say it offers free repairs regardless of warranty status.
We're calling on these companies to work with the Consumer Product Safety Commission, dig into the incidents, and offer free repairs to consumers.
There may be no obvious warning signs before that the glass in the oven door is about to fail.
There's nothing clear besides possibly if there's a chip or a crack or damage in the glass. And if that was to happen, I would contact the manufacturer immediately.
If your oven glass door does shatter, it's best to take photos, keep any repair records, and contact the manufacturer. Well, at first it appeared these cases were rare. Now there's proof it's a widespread problem that needs attention.
That's CTV's Pat Foran reporting. Now, an era of late-night television has officially ended. A slew of celebrity guests, along with a rock and roll legend, helped Stephen Colbert shut down The Late Show after more than 30 years. ABC's Rena Roy reports.
Overnight, Stephen Colbert hosting the final Late Show on CBS.
If you're just tuning into The Late Show, you missed a lot.
Colbert trying to do a normal show, but he kept getting interrupted by celebrities, all vying to be his final guest.
A surprise celebrity cameo popping up out of nowhere?
No, Brian, those always feel kind of forced. Paul, why are you interrupting me?
I'm just curious when our interview starts. I have an extremely long poem I want to recite.
Ryan, it's great to see you, but I hate to tell you, buddy, you're not my last guest. Ouchie.
The night building to a big surprise. Colbert, a devout Catholic, teeing up an interview with Pope Leo.
Oh, wait, Colbert. You call that a Chicago dog? Pope don't play like that. Leo, out.
But instead settling for Paul McCartney.
Hey, Steve, what about me?
McCartney returning to the Ed Sullivan Theater for perhaps the final time.
The Beatles, bring them on.
More than 60 years after the Beatles' legendary appearance on the same stage, McCartney gifting Colbert a photo of that concert.
To Stephen, you're better than the Beatles.
Closing out the final show with a Beatles classic. The broadcast ending with Colbert and McCartney turning off the lights on the Late Show franchise. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
After the break, you'll meet the newest additions to the Valley Zoo. 3 Arctic wolf puppies born late last month, already capturing hearts.
They reach almost adult size at about 6 months, so they grow quite quickly, and then their fur will kind of come in.
Programming brought to you by Green Tree Outdoor Living, where your dream yard becomes a reality.
Well, it was a very nice Friday, and we did see some scattered thunderstorms in and around the region and throughout much of the province, so it was a little bit unsettled as we got into the later parts of the afternoon and early evening. But things are settling down, and as we head into Saturday, the forecast looking quite nice. Let's take a look at the almanac, though. For Friday, we made it up to 21, average seasonal high being 18. So nice to be above that. We'll remain above that as we go throughout Saturday. Let's take a look at the calendar. Another day above seasonal, so taking our total to 12. Looking to be somewhat of a balanced month. 12 days above seasonal, 7 below, and 3 around average seasonal high. So we're doing okay for May so far, and we'll add more to the above seasonal. Let's take a look right now at today's highs. Again, we made it to 21, Fort McMurray 23, and into this area south of us, Calgary 18 and Lethbridge 20. So no one was super hot, but most temperatures in the province were around or just above average seasonal highs. So it was a very nice Friday, but again, it was a little bit unsettled as we got into the later parts of the afternoon. For tomorrow, Fort McMurray 24, Lac La Biche 23, Slave Lake, risk of some thunderstorms as we get into the later part of the afternoon and early evening. Could see that in towards Peace River as well. Vegreville 24 for a high for Saturday. As we take a look at southern areas of the province, temperatures a little bit warmer than today. Red Deer 24, Calgary 23, Lethbridge 24, and Medicine Hat, lots of sun, and 25. Forecast for Edmonton as we take a look at Saturday. We'll start off at 8 in the morning and then 25 for a high. Could see winds pick up a little bit, especially late afternoon and early evening, so a little bit gusty later into the day. And then as we go throughout the evening, there's a slight chance that we could see some scattered showers, possibly some thunder showers. So later into the evening, a slight chance of that. For Sunday, 9 to start, 20 for a high. More cloud moving in for Sunday, light wind, and then Monday, 24. We'll see the sun break through, but it looks like the cloud is still going to dominate on Monday. As we get into Tuesday, temperatures still in the 20s, 23 for a high. Into the afternoon and later part of the day, there's a chance that we could see some scattered thunderstorms. Wednesday, fairly cloudy, still above seasonal with a 30% chance of showers. Your 10-day forecast for the rest of the week, we're still remaining a bit on the warm side. 24 for Thursday, 25 on Friday. Late Friday, a slight chance of thunderstorms. Then as far as next weekend, at this point, possibly some showers on Saturday with some clearing on Sunday.
Thanks, Corey. The Pentagon has released a new batch of declassified UFO material. It includes more than 50 documents and videos. One of the 222 files refers to a series of reported sightings and investigations at a top-secret facility in New Mexico from 1948 to 1950. The U.S. Defense Department says there were more than 200 reports of green orbs, discs, and fireballs near the military base. Well, visitors to the Valley Zoo this summer might catch a glimpse of its newest additions, 3 Arctic wolf puppies.
They look like fat, healthy babies.
The puppies were born sometime in late April. Their exact birth date is unknown as their mother, Aspen, burrowed underground to give birth. The puppy's father is Tundra, the zoo's 14-year-old Arctic wolf who recently moved into a new exhibit with 2 females. The zoo says it will take a hands-off approach with the pups as they settle into their habitat.
They're outside right at the entrance to the den, but they're already playing with each other, jumping around, going up to meet Tundra. They're very interested in who Dad is right now. We try and make sure that the wolves are comfortable, and the best way for baby wolves to be raised is by other wolves.
The puppies will get their first checkup and vaccines when they are 8 to 12 weeks old. The zoo will be able to determine their sex at that time as well. The puppies will reach adult size within about 6 months. And a hot tub store in Kelowna had to kick out a visitor who was testing the merchandise.
Hey, get out of here, you guys. You guys get ready to get back.
The unwelcome visit was captured on camera. Looks like the bear briefly tested a tub out before being shooed away. Staff say the shop's doors are left open in the summer. The bear must have seen that as an invite. Mounties say the bear was last seen in an orchard, out of harm's way, and not posing any danger to the public. Well, that does it for this edition of CTV News. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.